Hello and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I am Samporno Jumapa. I would like to uh, discuss our assigned topic, water flow in a soil. Soil and water. There are 6 parts of soil and water. First one is the soil. Second is entry of water into the soil, and soil moisture conditions and available water content, and ground table and soil erosions by water. First one is the soil. The soil, 4 parts of the soil. First one is combination, soil compositions, soil profile, and soil textures and soil structures. The soil compositions. Look at the pictures of the soil composition of when drying soil is crushes in the hand. It can be seen that composed of all kind of particles of different size. Most these particles ay gawa sa mga declaration na mga bato, at tinatawag itong mineral particles. At isa pang nanggagaling sa mga particles ay gawa ng mga residues ng mga plants and animals, rooting leaves and piece of bone, na tinatawag itong mga organic particles or organic matters. And the soil particles seem to touch each. Lahat ito naaawakan at sa reality ay species in between. These species are called pores. Pores is pinaka maliliit na butas sa lupa. The soil is drying. The living materials is found in the soil. It can be live roots and as well benefits of the worm leaves, and they help to aerate the soil and to create a favorable of growing condition for the plants and roots. The soil particles is to touch each other, but in reality have a space between. The species are called pores. When a soil is dry, the pores are many filled with water. Ito, kapag ang pores ay mayaman sa hangin, mayaman sa mga hangin ito. At kapag ito ay after irrigation or rainfalls, the forests are immediately filled with water. Kapag ito naman ay natapos yung irrigation or rainfalls, ay puno ito ng mga water, puno ng tubig ito, yung maliliit na butas. Leaf material is found in the soil. It can be leaf roots. Ito ay nalagyan ng mga ugat at mga beetles or worm, maliliit na mga bulate at worms, larvae, and they help in increase the soil and thus create favorable growing conditions for a plant's roots. The second is soil profile. Look at the figure of 27, the soil profile. And if it is dug in the soil, ito ay mga hukay at least 1 meter deep. Various layers and different in color and compositions can be V. These layers is called horizon. Itong mga layer na to ay tinatawag na horizon. The oxidation of horizon is called profile of the soil. Look at the pictures. First one is a very general simplified soil profile can be degraded as a follow. Tingnan natin yung pagkakasunod-sunod. The first one is the below layers, 20 to 30 centimeter thick. Lalim nito. Enriched organic matter or contain many leaf roots. This layer is subject to land preparations and glads, Horwitz, and act, and often as a dark color, brown to black. And second is deep low layer, contain much has organic matter and leaves roots. Nabubuhay dito yung mga ugat. This layer is hardly affected by normal land preparations activities. The color is light, often gray, and sometimes is moods with yellowish and reddish spots. And the third is the subsoil layer. Hardly any organic matter or leaf roots are to be found. Nakikita dito yung mga less than organic matters, maliliit na ugat. This layer hardly affected by normal land preparation activities. This layer is not very important for plant grow, only few roots will reach it. Ito ay hindi masyadong importante itong subsoil layer kasi konti lang yung naaabot na mga roots. And the last one is the parent rock layer, content of rock from the declaration of which in soil form this rock and sometimes called parent materials. And deep and different layer varies widely, and some layers may be messing together. Look at that table. The name of the particles at size limit in the man and distributable at Nick ice. Nakikita namin natin sa screen. The minerals particles of the soil is differ widely in size and can be classified as a follow. Amount of the said salt and clay present in the soil determines the soil textures. In coarse textures soil inside dominant is sandy soil, and medium texture soil is set of predominant loamy soil. In fine literature soil a clay, predominant clay soils. Mold field and tingnan natin naman yung pangalawang table. The expression using by the farmer and expression used in literatures. Farmer often talk of light soil having soil and coarse textures soil and light because it is easy to work and while to find literatures a textures soil and heavy because it is hard to work. The textures of soil permanent. The farmer is unable to modify or change it. And the last one is soil structures. Ang soil structure ay makikita natin dito kung anong pag-grouping ng soil particles like sand, silt, clay, and organic matter and fertilizer into porous compound. Tinatawag itong aggregates soil structure. Makikita natin kung ano ang grouping at sa arrangement of aggregate and separated na mga maliit na butas at or pores or cracks. Look at the figure 29, the soil structure. The basic types of aggregate arrangement: the angular and brachyphragmatic and sieve structures. Tatlo ito. When present in the topsoil, massive structure block the entrance of water and seed germinations and default due to pure aerations. On the other hand, if the topsoil is angular, the water enters easily and seed germinations and better. In phragmatic structures, movement of the water in the soil predominantly vertical and therefore the supply of water to the plant is rough and usually poor. Unlike sa texture soil structures, it's not permanent by means of cultivations and particles flogging ridges. The farmer tries to obtain angular topsoil structure for the field. Look at the pictures. The first one here, angular is yung maliliit na particles na parang pino siya, at the black naman ay yung malalaking bato na may mga pagit-pagitan, at pangatlo naman ay moderate prismatic na maliliit din pero may mga butas na may mga tanda, at naman itong moderate massive naman, yung massive ay parang plain na mga titigas na bato na may hakdang-hakdan siya. Lumapo naman tayo sa isang parte ng soil and water. Ito ang pangalawa, entry of water into the soil. There are three parts. First one is the infiltration process. Infiltration rate, factor influencing the infiltration rate. The first one is the infiltration process. Kapag ito ay umulan or irrigation ng pag-supply sa field, pag ito ay tumulo sa soil, this process tinatawag na infiltration o lumusot sa lumulusot. Infiltration can be visualized by pouring water into glass field. Look at the picture of figure 31, infiltration water into the soil. Pinagsama ang powder soil and slightly damp or tambak. Tignan mo yung baso, parang umitim yung sa taas, ay tinatawag yun ng soil wet soil dikers. Pumunta tayo sa pangalawa, ang filtration rates. Look at the picture of two glasses. Yung isa ay tinatawag na Yung isa na tinatawag ito ay dry sand at yung itim naman na yun yung clay, dry clay. Look at the mas madaling lumusob yung tubig sa dry sand kumpara natin sa clay, dry na clay. After 1 hours ay may natira pa sa clay na may maliit na tubig din. Itong sand na to ay parang wala lang natira, parang lumusob na agad faster than the clay, yung side na dry. The infiltration rate of a soil and velocity which water can seep into it and commonly measured by depth in mm of the water layer and the soil can absorb in the 1 hour. An infiltration rate is 15 hours, mean that water layer of 5 mm on the surface of the soil will take the hours of filtrations. Tignan mo yung soil and infiltration rate 15 minutes per hour. Look at the figure 33 and showing the show the table and the low infiltration rate less than 15 minutes per hour of median infiltration rate 15 to 50 minutes per hour. Look at the table rates of value of integration rate below.
Dito tayo sa panghuli, ang factor influencing the infiltration rate. The infiltration rate of the soil depends of factors that are constant, such as soil textures. It is also dependent on factors that vary, such as soil moisture content. Soil textures. Pinagkumpara, look at the figure of 34 infiltration rate and soil textures. Coarse textures and the fine soil. Coarse texture, ito yung na malalaki ang kanyang mga particles at large pores o malalaki ang kanyang mga butas. At dito sa fine soil ay maliit ang kanyang mga particles at maliliit ang kanyang pores, yung butas-butas niya. Parang nakakumpak. Look at the pictures. Mas madaling lumusob ang tubig sa coarse soil kasi malalaking yung kaniyang butas at mga particles at madali itong lumusob ang tubig less than dito sa fine soil. Infiltration rate is higher for coarse texture soil than for fine texture soils. And second is dito tayo naman sa the soil moisture content. The water infiltrates faster. Higher infiltration rate when the soil is drying than when it's wet. See the figure of 35. As well, consequence when irrigation water is applied to the field, the water first infiltrate easily, but as the soil become wet, the infiltration rate decrease. Look at the figure of 35. Nilagyan sila ng parehas na tubig na after 1 hour ay pagkatapos ng 1 hour ay wala ng tubig sa coarse soil. dry powder soil. And dito naman sa slightly powder soil ay may natira pa kasi sa powdery soil, slightly the powdery soil kasi maliliit yung mga particles kaya mahirap siya lumusob. Less than the decrease yung kanyang tubig sa per hours. Pangatlo ay the soil structure. Generally speaking, water infiltrate quickly, higher infiltrate rate into regular salt but very slowly, low infiltrate into passive compact soil. And because the farmer can influence the soil structure by means of cultural practice, he can also change the infiltration rate of the soil. And yun lang po, salamat. Yung ibang part niya ay sa iba kong kagrupo ko po. Thank you.